Thank you. So Andreas will present us about applying scenario-based design to create analysis of e-portfolios.
Yeah, hello again, and welcome to this presentation. Like Paul already said, I'm talking about scenarios for an automated analysis of e-portfolios. I will have a quick overview over e-portfolios and how they are used at the University of Education in Weingarten. We'll talk about rubrics. We'll have a quick overview of our project called ISOP, AI-supported observation of e-portfolios. Then switch to scenario-based design, which is a method we use to design dashboards. And I'll show you some examples and finally end with the conclusion and some future work. So most of you, or all of you, know it already, but let's have a quick overview. E-portfolios are a collection of learning artifacts. They're digital. They are seen as an innovative form of learning, and they support competency-based learning and assessment. So on the left hand, you see an example portfolio of the University of Education in Weingarten. Quite a lot of text, as you can see. So basically, our intention, or the intention of the project, was to analyze the e-portfolios and help students and teachers in editing, creating, and assessing e-portfolios. So on the one side, there are the students. They have their aggregated knowledge from some 2 or 3 courses. They have external sources. With that knowledge, they build, create their e-portfolios and also reflect during the process of creating. On the other side, we have the teachers, where the e-portfolio is the basis for an oral exam at the end of the semester, and also the performance will be evaluated and the test. So how do we assess the e-portfolios? We use rubrics, which are scoring grids. Here's an example of one. We have in this column a list of criteria for evaluating the learning outcomes. And on the top, we have descriptions of performance level from basic to proficient. And this method is used at the University of Weingarten since several years. So basically, it's a lot of work to, on the one hand, create e-portfolios, and on the other hand, of course, assess those e-portfolios. So a little help would be really nice. So the intention is to analyze these portfolios. And this is a simplified overview of our architecture. So in the middle is the analysis, and we have at the end 2 different dashboards for students, which helps them creating, editing e-portfolios. On the other side, dashboard for teachers that helps them reviewing and grading those e-portfolios. So the core data or analysis is for us the natural language processing. We also have HTML analysis and usage analysis, but for example, for the content criteria, these are different criteria of the rubrics. So we have content, formal criteria, and the learning process. And let me give an example, the topic coverage, like did the students cover all the topics from the seminar, which is a big question. And with topic recognition, we can make visualizations that provide us with information about topic coverage. But they can also give us some information about topics that might not have been part of the seminars, like new topics, which is interesting concerning the learning progress. So this is one example. Of course, the HTML analysis gives us information about how many words did they write, how many pictures did they use compared to the amount of words or stuff like that. Is the media usage good, or did they use not enough media, because that's always a part of the e-portfolio, of course. And so we have, in the end, different tasks. Students have different tasks than teachers, of course. So we have two different dashboards. And when it comes to designing those dashboards, we use the method of scenario-based design. It's a user-centered process for the development of interactive products. So the user is the center of attention. And we start with an analysis. It can be surveys and also known problems or possibilities also. And then we build scenarios that are narrative descriptions of actors carrying out actions to achieve specific goals. So this is a framework by Rosen and Carroll from 2001, and still the state of the art in this area. It's a three-phase model. It's first the analysis, where we build our problem scenarios. Then we have the design phase with different phases of sub-scenarios. Activity is just the first scenario, which can be the solution. And they are elaborated more and more. And in the end, we have interaction scenarios where there's interaction, like the name already says. And it's an iterative process, so it can always go back at any point. And there are evaluations all the time, so going back and forth. And in the end, you have the prototype and evaluation phase, where the usability is the center, and it's also formatively evaluated and can also go back to phases before. But at the very end, there will be a summative evaluation and hopefully a final product. But already, also there, it could go back again and start from the first activity scenario. So just to give you an example, here's a persona. Personas are used, they are just features, characters to make it easier to understand their problems. So this is Leonie. She's a lecturer at the university, and her task is the assessment of portfolios and more detailed, the navigation in portfolios. So the problem scenario would be her switching between windows because she has her Excel sheet with the rubric. She has the portfolio where she has to scroll through. She has maybe other students that she wants to compare with the one she's assessing right now, and different applications to fill out and to read stuff. So there's a lot of confusion maybe. And the solution could be the activity scenario, which is navigation via a dashboard, where we have a split view of an e-portfolio on the one hand, and the concept map with the topics of the cards on the other hand that are clickable and that you can navigate with. So it could look like something like this. This is the first prototype. On the left hand, we have the concept map or an excerpt of it. And on the right side, we have the e-portfolio. And when you click on different topics, you can you jump right to the topic in the e-portfolio. And there are different possibilities, and it's good to.
You should show on the screen. So I'm trying to.
Oh, sorry. It's difficult.
No, but that doesn't work. That's fine. That's okay.
But you can navigate with that concept map. And we already evaluated that with teachers and also with students. And they all found it quite good to navigate because it saves some time. And also you can show in the CMap if topics are covered or not. So there are different options now, because in one evaluation with students, we had the problem that they didn't really know what to do, and that they needed some instructions, or they just weren't familiar with the concept map. So also with the color codes, and because this is just a prototype, of course. So there could be different versions, like should the topics covered be green and the not covered topics be red, which could also be a problem with colorblind people. The selected topics with this frame here. This is what we had, but there are also better options maybe with other colors, or maybe, I can't see the mouse unfortunately, with different types of saturation or sizes of the nodes in the concept map. There's also the possibility to just mark the topics that are missing, then without color, or maybe even only with little check marks or crosses for topics covered or not being covered. And there are also some more questions coming up, of course. When is a topic covered? Is it covered when there is written one word, or is it covered when they wrote 100 words? So what's the threshold here? That's still a thing we're discussing about and testing, but yeah, there are different possibilities. So writing of the scenarios is an ongoing process. It's always repeating itself, and they really help us to emphasize the important aspects in the project. And the importance of the dashboards as an enriching visualization became clear in selected scenarios. And for the future, we will have the scenarios further elaborated and finalized, of course. And the existing visualizations that we already have will be further worked on, and also new functions will be implemented, like, for example, a comparison function between individual portfolios, which is also a very interesting task for teachers. So that's about it for now.
Thank you. Are there some small questions from one side or the other side of the earth? There's some in the chat, maybe. No. We see when, as noted by Christina in the chat, we definitely see a convergence of topics about adapting visualization. I think this is going to be coming over and over to have the appropriate visualization.